Happy Sunday, everyone. I hope you guys had a good week. Um, I made a video earlier. I put it out this morning. I decided to take a little bit of a break. I think this week was a little heavy for me. Now, sometimes I just think it's necessary at some point, and sometimes to just step away from like social media and just put the phone down and just kick it with your family if possible, because you know it's been real heavy. Let's just say that it's been a real heavy week, and I think sometimes you assume that people are going to be there and they're going to be there forever. And so if you haven't, I would definitely encourage you. Sometimes just put the phone down and just go kick it with the people that you love, because you never honestly know. You don't know when it is done. And I don't know, that just hit me this week. Last week, I should say. Like I said, it was a very heavy week, and Nipsey Hussle's death did weigh heavy on me. I can't fully articulate why, but I guess a part of me just felt, because sometimes, and I'm not one of those bandwagon people that was just like, all of a sudden now I'm all of a sudden Nipsey Hussle fan. I've been rocking with Nipsey for a long time. I remember when him and Lauren got together a while ago, and there was rumblings online, and you kind of thought they were together, but you weren't sure. And that's what I respected most about Lauren London, is that she was in the age of where people are always online showing their babies every 5 minutes. You just never saw her kids. She just kind of stayed out of the spotlight. She just wasn't that person. And that's what I loved most about her. And that they were just very low key. You didn't hear anything about anything when it came to Nipsey and Lauren. You just didn't. And so last week when I saw this stuff online, and people were posting videos of him basically dying, because that's really what it was, and posting videos of her going to the hospital, it just broke my heart, and it just made me want to just put the phone down, get off social media for a while, because I knew those kind of images were just going around, and who wants to have those kind of moments sprawled all over the internet? I just think that was very exploitive, and it was just unfortunate. So yeah. I came back to do a video, and I did it this morning. I put it together because I did go on Instagram yesterday, and I saw Kodak Black and what he was saying, which was just, here's the thing. I watched the video I put together, obviously, because I put it together, and I watched him. I'm one of those people that thought that he should have been canceled a long time ago, and it's a shame that it took this to do that, because it wasn't like this man wasn't problematic from a long time ago. I'm not going to make all those little comments about his looks and stuff like that. That's not what I'm going to do. But what I am going to say is that I do remember when he made some comments about black women. Now, he didn't want no black woman. He didn't want to deal with no black women. He didn't want to date. He was just real colorist. It was like some real colorist about dark-skinned women. I don't want to say black. I should have said dark-skinned women. And then he made those little comments about Young and May, which I thought, again, more disrespect. Here you have this lesbian woman who's very comfortable with who she is. And here you have this man who thinks that he has the right to say whatever he wants to say about her, as implying that she should want to be with him or want to have, sexual intercourse with him, which again, just to me, it was very invasive. He also has some rape allegations against him. I think he's like facing a rape charge. So this man has been a problem for a long time. And now all of a sudden people want to cancel him. And I find that interesting. Now, like I said, what I think he said about Lauren London was very disrespectful. First of all, to even say, I'm going to give her about a year, as if he had a chance. The audacity of it all. But I don't think he had any malicious intent. Honestly, I don't. I think he's a very ignorant person, but I don't think he meant it in a malicious way. I think it was disrespectful. I think it was tacky. I think it was classless, but I don't think it was malicious. And that's just how I feel. I just don't find it to be malicious. And his apology sucked. I didn't believe it one bit. It was obviously forced because people were forcing his hand. And he even kind of went back to say, well, I apologize, even though I didn't say nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, some of these young folks, they have no respect. And he's one of those people that has proven that he is disrespectful for a long time. All right. Now, do I think that people are going to cancel him? I don't think so. I've seen this outrage before. People be mad for a minute and then they get all right. And so do I think that the being mad at him is going to last? It is not, because you have a sector of the people that definitely don't mess with him anyway. I'm not going to say, I couldn't tell you one Kodak Black song, not one. So I didn't mess with him, no way. But these younger folks, as basically what I saw online, they don't think he didn't say anything wrong. According to them, they don't feel like he said anything wrong at all. So there you have it. I didn't really want to make this video about that though. I had another angle. So ever since Nipsey Hussle died, he's been getting a lot of beautiful, tributes. People from all over the world are paying tribute to this man for everything that he did, everything that he was. But there is a sector in the Black community that's not feeling Nipsey Hussle. And everybody has a right to their opinion. But from what I saw, I was a little disturbed by this. So anyway, there are a few people in the LGBT community that when he died didn't flinch. And not that they had to. They're not obligated to feel any kind of way. But some of the things that I saw online, to me, in my opinion, were just downright disrespectful. I listened to Justin J and Adrian Expression. They're both YouTubers. Some of you probably listen to them as well. They have a podcast called For the Culture. And they started to talk about Nipsey Hussle. And they brought up the whole toxic masculinity because, that's the buzzword for a lot of these millennial folks who they don't know any other way to explain themselves. They just call it toxic masculinity. And basically they didn't flinch. They just basically said they didn't bat an eye. He was troubling. He said a lot of troubling things. He said a lot of things about the homosexual community, and they just didn't rock with him. And they don't care that he did. Okay. Oh, well, that's kind of the vibe I got from them. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but if you listen to their podcast, the last one from last week, you will listen to them say a lot of things that I thought, now how ironic. You don't want people to say negative things about you and your community, but you said some pretty negative things about this man. All right. But they weren't the only ones. There were a lot of people in the LGBT community that felt that way. Now, this is what they are upset about. So a while ago, Nipsey had posted some kind of picture from some kind of bank when he said, "Demonstration speaks louder than conversation. They're going to feed us every image of our men and boys, but this one," he stated in an Instagram caption, "No hyper-violent, no homosexual, no abandoners, just strong Black men and young men. Respect to my big homie, Big U1, for leading with love and intelligence. God is with us, who can go against us." Now, that was based on this. He was in a banquet, and there was a picture of these young boys all dressed up in suits and looking really nice, and he posted that under there, and a lot of people from the gay community took that a type of way, because they felt like he was equating violence and homosexuality. All right. And so, like I said, they did take issue with that. And I'm not blaming them for that. You have a right to feel what you feel. So this activist, DeRay McEckerson, that's how I think you pronounce his name. He said, "I never thought that gay Black men were overrepresented in the media, but the original point is that gay is not a bad thing, not synonymous with violent abandoner." And then Nipsey said, "I don't look down on gay people. I love all God's children for real. I take issue with the large agenda, and I'm very well informed, contrary to my appearance. And my conclusion is there's an agenda. We can go fact for fact and get you some understanding if you'd like. If not, God bless." And so, like I said, a lot of gay people, a lot of people in the community were upset with Nipsey Hussle. And so, like I said, when he passed away, they went online to express how they felt about him. And like I said, I also saw this piece from somebody on NBC, a part of NBC, that, wrote up this hit piece on Nipsey Hussle and this, I guess what they call toxic masculinity, that he was a misogynist, that he represented everything, you know, that technically this hypersexual black man represents, which I thought was very unfair. But of course, that's what they do, right? They can do a hit piece on you in a heartbeat. They can do it on any of us. And so here's the thing, and this is why I wanted to do this video. Now, Nipsey did do that. And like I said, they have a right to feel how they feel. He did go on the Breakfast Club, to clarify what he was saying. And I'm going to play that clip for you so that you can hear for yourself what he was trying to say and how he was evolving in his way, in his ways of thought. Okay? Let me go ahead and play that for you.
No, we in the space.
Now, what happened with the LGBT community? They was set tripping on you at one point when you...
You know, man, they, for the record, come on, man, I live in LA. I'm in the music industry. There's no way I could take issue with anybody's sexuality. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I got people in my family. I got people I love. Mm-hmm. My homegirls, some of the, you know, people that I grew up around that, you know, that's their lifestyle. I could never judge nobody for their sexuality. What they took out of context was a critique on the media. I made a critique on the media. And I was really speaking toward what my homeboy Big U did for the kids. Mm-hmm. And the image of, you know, somebody that came from prison, that came from gang culture, what the image gets portrayed as around that type of individual and what this person's actually doing. And, you know, I think that it was taken out of context. You know, and that's a sensitive thing. I would never want people to feel alienated or like, damn, you know, an artist that I'm inspired by or look up to or somebody I respect might look at me as less than. That's not what I meant, you know what I'm saying? And I think it just got taken out of context. And, you know, it's a movement right now for, like, acceptance and equality. So, you know, there's a whole machine built behind. It's like a witch hunt. You know what I'm saying? Let anybody say.
Sexism, homophobia.
It's a witch hunt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I fell into that. It's all good. You know what I mean? I respect it. I'm with the movement of equality and everybody respect everybody as individuals. God is the creator and the judge. I'm not the judge.
I think they were just upset because they felt like you were implying that homosexuals couldn't look like so-called real men. And that was probably the error that I made in articulation. That, you know, it could be read like that. I could have been more clear, you know what I'm saying? But me personally, I judge things off of intention. We all human, we gonna make mistakes, but I gauge somebody's intention. Mm-hmm. What was you trying to say? You know what I'm saying? Right. And if the intention is clear, I give the execution a little wiggle room, you know what I'm saying? Or the articulation. And I asked everybody, look at my intention. You know what I'm saying? What was I trying to say?
And so that was from the Breakfast Club back in early 2018. Now, that's what I felt a lot of people in the LGBT community missed. A lot of them were quick to attack him when he died, but they didn't even give him the opportunity or even try to listen to what he said there. They would just immediately, oh, he said this about us, he's canceled, we don't care if he's dead. And that's how I took that. The reason why I wanted to play that, because I find it very interesting that some people, and I always say some because I don't want to make a blanket statement here, how some people in the LGBT community will sit here and cancel a person like Nipsey Hussle, but will still allow a person that, weaponized a trans person to get revenge on a boyfriend, cough, cough, Cardi B, and also use the F word many, many times. They will sit there and sing her songs. They won't cancel her. Okay. She's been problematic for a long time in that community, and they still rock with her. And all I hear I've heard it from Justin J. I've heard it from Adrian. Oh, she's young. She's learning. She's learning. She's growing up. She has to learn, you know. She just did this thing. She did this for survival, even with the whole thing with her drugging men. Oh, she was trying to survive. I heard every excuse in the book for her from some people in the gay community. Yet, I have not heard her evolve yet. I haven't seen her evolve yet. But again, she weaponized a trans person to get revenge on her cheating boyfriend. And the video's out there. You guys can look it up. She's done that. And yet, they don't have any wiggle room to watch a man like Nipsey Hussle or even Kevin Hart, who, you know, he didn't even host the Oscars. Remember, he made some tasteless jokes, but they were still, you know, and he apologized, but still, it's cancel Kevin Hart. We don't mess with him no more. But they'll keep a Cardi B. They'll keep a Young Miami from City Girls. And you heard, she made some really problematic statements about, you know, if her son was gay, what she would do and this and other stuff like that. I mean, seriously. So I'm trying to figure out, is it I just don't like black men who make homophobic statements, but other women, the women are okay if they do it. I'm just trying to understand that. And I do wish that some people in that community, in the LGBT community, would keep the same exact energy that they have with a Nipsey Hussle or a Kevin Hart, who has made statements. And like I said, you have a right to feel how you feel about what they said, but you also have to give them the same wiggle room, in my opinion, that you will give a Cardi B and a Young Miami from the City Girls, when they have said awful things. I think they've said far worse things about the gay community. I've heard Cardi B out of her own mouth use the F word. Again, weaponizing a trans person. Young Miami has said some terrible stuff online, again, against gay people. Yet, she's a woman. And I see some of these men in the gay community, some of these women in the gay community, they seem to give the women a pass and the men are not given the chance to grow. I think Nipsey Hussle was growing. In that clip alone, you could see that he had evolved. There was an evolution there. There was a complete evolution there. He was understanding. All right. And I felt like a lot of people missed that. They didn't want to hear it. They already made up their minds about what he had said in the past, and that's all they went on. And then they were just like, oh, well, we don't care if he's dead. So, well, he was toxic. He was a toxic masculinity. It's all this other stuff. And yet I don't see the same thing or the same energy given to like a Cardi B or Young Miami. So that's been my issue. I just find that interesting that we just, you know, it's just cherry picking outrage. Cherry picking outrage seems to be the rage, all the thing, right? Like I said, I can bring this back to the Kodak Black. Cherry picking the outrage. Mad at him for this particular thing, which was terrible nonetheless. I think it was absolutely disrespectful. But not giving him that same energy when he said things about black women. Again, cherry picking what you want to be mad about. LGBT community, some of you, I think you're cherry picking. You're upset with Nipsey Hussle, even in death, but Cardi B can walk around and still making money, and you still dancing to her songs in the club, even though she said some terrible, terrible things. I find that troubling, and I'm sorry, but I find it troubling. And we all should find that troubling, that people do that and people feel that way. Like I said, listen, for the record, I absolutely support people in the LGBT community. I do. I support them 100%. But I'm also a person that feel like you can't make somebody feel the way you feel. Okay, you can't. And everybody has a right to their opinion, which is why I'm not dogging the LGBT community for, you know, like, well, you know what, he said some problematic things, but I do think it's disrespectful to disrespect him in death. But you don't want people disrespecting you. You can't have it both ways. You don't want to be disrespected and called names, but I saw people calling him names in death. I thought that was terrible and tacky and tasteless. Like, you can't have it both ways. And like I said, yet you're not giving the same energy to like a Cardi B and Young Miami. So I just, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think, because that did bother me. Like, cherry picking outrage that's what's going on these days. And I'm just tired of it. So anyway, have a great Sunday and take care, everybody.